there for a few months.
That's awesome.
Talk about it more?
Yes.
Let's talk about the game. First NFL London game of the season. 12th straight season of NFL London games. It's awesome. Maybe we'll get over there at some point.
Abroad? I'm not going to say nothing. Look at my computer.
Hey guys, the Raiders are making their third trip to London. It's so exciting. This is just one of the many games we can't wait for in week 5.
Let's get it. That's it, you know. You know that.
Let's go.
He's got a pen.
Thank you. Now, if D. Hall did that move earlier in the show that we just saw, that definitely would have made the video. But it is hour 3 of Good Morning Football Weekend presented by Bass Pro Shops. I'm Colleen Wolfe with D'Angelo Hall, Michael Robinson.
What's up?
And Mike Garafolo.
Grand Rising, people.
Hey! Look at you.
You say good morning.
I'm rubbing off on you, man. Great job. Great job. Ah, that was so dope.
That's what you get when you hang out with us here on Saturdays, Good Morning Football Weekend. So it is our third hour of the show. Make sure you guys tweet us, hashtag GMFB. But look, there are so many good matchups coming up this weekend, and we have the 3-1 teams coming up, Packers and Cowboys. They started the season so hot, and now they're both coming off losses. So who's going to bounce back?
This afternoon, the Green Bay Packers at a showdown with the Dallas Cowboys. It's always interesting when they get together. What a catch! How about that for aggressive? Touchdown! This is going to be a shootout. Green Bay football. Hit, devoured. Throws a Hail Mary. Oh, I tell you, unbelievable. That's going to be another Packer touchdown. Beautiful touchdown, Dallas. Over the shoulder, dropped it in. Touchdown. That's taking candy from a baby right there.
Let's go get it now.
Another chapter being added here this afternoon in Arlington. These people are going to bring it.
Let's fly to Frisco, Texas to say what's up to Jane Slater, who's live at the Star. All right, Jane. Randall Cobb, he's facing his former team tomorrow. How's he preparing to play the Pack?
Well, Randall Cobb spent 8 seasons in cheese curd country. I'm not a fan of cheese curds, but I'm sure that he was after all that time there. A second-round pick in 2011. He was traded to the Cowboys, or not traded, rather. He was released and then picked up by the Cowboys this offseason, and it was Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett who said he was, quote, a pain in their ass all of those years. Well, now he's on their team, and this year he's averaging about 11 yards per reception, his highest in a single season since 2014. And when I asked him what's up with that, he said he's getting more of those downfield looks. He says he saw that a lot earlier in his career, and he says the way this offense is set up with their ground game and their zone coverage, well, that helps him find the holes in the zone really well. Now, I asked him about his relationship with Aaron Rodgers. Of course, we saw them both go very emo on the IG when they both heard about the release and then ultimately the move to Dallas. He says they still talk. In fact, they texted last week. He said he knows that the cameras are going to be fixed on him. A lot of people are going to want to know how he's doing in this game. He said you'll probably see a little bit more emotion from him than usual, but he's approaching this like a usual game. But I did have to ask him, will there be a jersey swap after this one? He laughed. He said he hadn't really thought about it, but I'm telling you guys, I think he's thinking about it now.
Ooh, I wonder. We know that those guys are friends. Rodgers was a groomsman in Cobb's wedding, but we'll see. The cameras will be on them. By the way, Garafolo wants me to tell you that you got to put $5 in the swear jar.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't make these rules, but
Don't care that it was in quotes. That doesn't protect you. In the jar, Jane.
Okay.
I'd be in a lot of trouble then on a regular basis.
Jane, thank you. So Cobb's teammate Zeke Elliott has balled against the Packers. During the Super Bowl era, no one has rushed for more yards per game against the Packers than Zeke. He's averaging 132 yards against Green Bay, more than DeMarco Murray, Christian Okoye, Eric Dickerson, and Barry Sanders. So That's pretty impressive. So after giving up 176 yards on the ground to Philly last week, what's the Packers defense going to do against Ezekiel Elliott?
I don't know. Ezekiel Elliott in this run game for the Dallas Cowboys, to me, they didn't look good last week. They just didn't. Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, and, I mean, these guys are the strength of this offensive line. They got beat up a little bit. They did. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott, 35 yards on 18 carries. And I think when you limit Ezekiel Elliott's production like the New Orleans Saints did last week, that's when you put the game in Dak Prescott's hands. And that's when we figure out if this guy can carry the team with his arm. And last week we saw that he didn't. Now, officially, he only had 1 sack, a few quarterback hits. But on tape, I mean, it could have been 4 or 5 sacks. It could have been 14 or 15 quarterback hits. If the Dallas Cowboys offensive line doesn't get this straight, the Preston boys are coming in town. The Smith boys. That's what I say, the Preston boys. The Darius Smith and Preston Smith. I call them the Preston boys. But either way, you guys knew what I was talking about, right? Yeah. And Tyron Smith is out. So, again, I like with
no relation.
And Lyle Collins is questionable too, so he's banged up.
A bunch of Smiths out there.
Back injury. I know.
Yeah, and a Dallas offensive line that is banged up. But when you think about them seeing Philadelphia run the football down Green Bay's defense, you just know that this is the formula. This is the plan. Kellen Moore is going to do that with this football team. And you know, being a fullback, when you have a bad week the week before, it puts a little something left on you. Coach makes an emphasis, hey, this is what we're going to do. They know we're going to do it. And Ezekiel Elliott, man, look at the numbers, man. The numbers don't lie. I just think they have a heavy dose of him in this ball game. They're at home. They can control the environment. You know, Dak will get a chance to prove he can throw the football, but it will be off of Ezekiel Elliott in this running game.
I just, like, the Eagles moved people out of the way, and once they did, they got to the second level. It was like, forget it. That's why they had a bunch of those big runs. And schematically, and help me out here, because I'm asking people, first of all, show me what happened against the Eagles first, because we've got 6 defensive backs on the field. So you're in a dime package here, and I get it. I mean, they're in 11 personnel. That's the way you got to guard it here. But once the Eagles do have flexibility, because they've got tight ends that can block. Once you wash it down, there's nothing but D-backs. You got Blake Martinez trying to chase it down from behind. So I did ask, I said, well, what's going to happen this week? Is it going to be more of this? Is it going to be more of the dime packages that you saw? Because you can run against that, and Dallas can scheme this up. They'll come at you in 11 personnel, force you to guard that way. It's not going to be dime heavy, but it's going to be nickel heavy. So you're still not going to see a base defense.
And to that point, with it being nickel heavy, now that's another another linebacker instead of a DB, a corner or a safety in coverage. So maybe that does open up a little bit more for Dak to throw the football, because as you can tell, because they were able to outman them in the run game, they ran the football. If that's a linebacker, then you like your matchups.
But you're adding a linebacker, but you're still not in that base defense that you're
still able to run the football pass the football. I'm sorry, versus that other linebacker instead of a coverage.
That's what I'm saying. Schematically, the way they're trying to do things, the way they're trying to be DB heavy, I just don't like this matchup for them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great matchup for Ezekiel Elliott against this run, but you look at the Packers passing defense, they're 3rd ranked in the league right now. So I would like to see that. But also, I want to know what the Packers are going to do without Devontae Adams. Because they didn't run the ball against the Eagles. And then without Devontae Adams, who had a career game against the Eagles, they just couldn't get it done. Aaron Rodgers, he had 422 yards of offense in that game, and they still could not get it done.
But I got something for you, Colleen. Look, check this out. Aaron Rodgers at AT&T Stadium, 3-0. Close to 300 yards passing, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception. All right, I think they might be all right.
Well, I got something for you.
What's
up?
Oh.
Green Bay on 3rd down this season.
Oh, D, you weren't supposed to say nothing.
All right,
you weren't supposed to say it.
But you know what Dallas defense is? Dallas defense is 2nd.
Stop. D, you weren't supposed to do that.
I'm just saying.
You were supposed to go to break or something.
Well, let's do it. But now we'll move on. Okay, so we'll see how the Cowboys respond tomorrow. But what about their rival in New York? How's that rookie quarterback doing?
Okay.
Daniel Jones engineers the largest Giants comeback since November the 15th of 1970. Jones is going to run it on a fake handoff. He's to the 5. He's in. Touchdown, Giants. Daniel Jones in his first start. Daniel Jones with a rushing touchdown. He looked left. He waited.
He waited, and then he fired it off for Gallman, and the Giants have the lead. Fakes a handoff to Gallman. Sets, delivers one right. He's got Ingram on the run. He steps out of a tackle across midfield to the 45, down the left sideline to the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Giants, 75 yards. Catch and run to Evan Ingram. And let the record